I have a dream where the powerful and the powerless will sit at the same table, where the haves will see the have-nots, not as burdens, but as brothers, where class will not divide us, but conviction will unite us. I have a dream that the oligarchs will remember we must all eat, that the brown-faced neo-colonialists will remember who they are and whose they are. I have a dream that fraternities will build beyond internal architecture into a national bond, that the walls of design will give way to the bridges of brotherhood, not a fraternity of symbol, but a brotherhood of substance. I have a dream that we remain focused, that we stay in our conviction and remain fearless, that we double down, fortified, to return this Bahamaland to the foundation.
Good afternoon, ladies and gentlemen. This is The Foundation with Howard Grant. Grateful to be with you. Always grateful to be in your company as we continue to jam and talk about what we must as it relates to what's going on around the country, around the world, and more specifically in politics in the Bahamas right now as we get geared up for another election cycle, election period. As you guys know, we are finalizing a few things. Don't freak out, and I don't know, what's the notion or the ideas associated with it, but I would like you not to freak out because of some things that we're doing today. I just want to be very clear with you. As of Monday, the promo is as of Monday. We should be on ZNS Bahamas. Yeah. It's been a long. Yeah, we have been talking about it. Some of you possibly saw the promos and really being able to talk about those particular things. You would have seen some things that have been done, right? And I suppose a lot of you have some questions, right? Howard, what? Howard, why? Howard, you know. I don't know. I think a lot of questions may be geared up and leading towards a political, posturing and asking whether or not this has anything to do with politics. It doesn't. It has a great deal to do with where we are as a people and where I am as an individual, and the importance of being able to find a platform. We're building one here with the Foundation Radio. And eventually we're going to be able to have Foundation TV, but these things take time. And I don't have residuals and I don't have this kind of a capital to be able to kick it off the way that I want. So you're going to get the passion, you're going to get determination, you're going to get just much like this, this stream that we're doing right now, you're going to get some lagging, but we're strategically, specifically focused on those particular things to fix that, to ensure that we don't find ourselves in this position as we continue to grow and move forward. And so as of Monday, February 2nd, 2026, you will be seeing me. You should be seeing me. We are going to get some things done today. You should be seeing me on ZNS Bahamas, where only the sun covers the Bahamas better. Now, if you remember over the time that I've been being able to have a conversation with you about these particular things, I would have said to you, oh, let me see if I can fix something in this thing, right? I got to cut on this light, right? I fixed this. right? I would have said to you that I don't think I would have ever found myself back in this particular position if the corporation had made some modifications. We had significant conversations about those modifications, what needed to be done, and whether or not they're prepared to be able to get those particular things done. I spoke with the general manager at nauseum, at length, at to a position where I made him to understand very transparently my fears of not necessarily being fired, but the optics associated with another move, and the fact that I've committed myself to my own space and really being able to develop that because what I've recognized externally. And he assured me, even with the evidence of being able to bring a great deal of persons on from a different political viewpoint, he had assured me that there is diversification, opportunity, and reach. And everything is within reason. I understand that and I accept that. There is sort of a gentle waltz, a tango that's being played between um, forward movement and this sort of this kind of a waltz is happening with this progressive forward movement, forward thinking Bahamas, and the fact that we're still tied, some of us, many of us, to the traditions that exist in this place. So we have to be gentle with this sort of a waltz and how we do that. But it's definitely a waltz, and we have to know, the strategic people have to know how to do that, how to do it with grace, and not this kind of abrasive, sharp, you know what I mean? Like not this kind of this visually reluctant type. You know, you want people to. It has to be appealing. It has to be engaging. It has to be able to draw you in, and it doesn't. It should not play on the traditional concept and idea that you have associated with these particular spaces. There should be a gentle transition. There should not be this sort of a um, um, you know this choppy approach of how things are being done. And so after that kind of an extensive conversation, yeah, he and I had, Clint Watson, he got me in there. Yeah, he got me in there, and this conversation has been going on for some time since I left. If I got to be honest with you, not to talk all our business, but the night I left, um, but this has been a long time coming. Let me just say this, because when Clint initially got this position, I had just gotten into Guardian Radio, 96.9. And Clint got this position moving out of the office of the Prime Minister as a press secretary and being able to find himself in the position as an acting GM over at Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas at NES. And he called me. He's supposed to start work on Monday, right? He was set to start work on Monday. He called me Saturday. My wife and I were riding around and, just taking sort of the scenic route, right? I hadn't moved. I was still in an old space, my former space. And we just was my wife and I just took some time for ourselves, and we were just riding around the city, and got a call from him. Howard, I said, "Hey Clint," right? I say, "Hey Clint, what's up?" Right? So he says, "Listen, I want you to come in. I need you on my team." I mean, he was straight to the point. And I said, "Clint, I don't want to get fired. Jesus, I did the dot." Right? That's what I tell him. And he said, "No, Howard, things are changing." And more than he could say to me, he showed, I think, all of us in the country that there was a desire. Um, I think it's especially because of what he would have gone through. There was no tolerance for these particular things, despite the political interference, despite the political opposition that exists within the space. Let's just be very clear, and acknowledgement and understanding that there is political opposition in this space. I think more than anything, he was the appropriate person to be placed in this position because he knew, nah, this ain't taking nothing from my boy Andrew, right? But he knew what this particular thing felt like. And he allowed those persons who were the technocrats, those persons who were the creatives, he allowed those persons to be able to flourish. When I went into ZNES most recently, I looked around and the amount of young people, I mean, listen, cross section from all various spaces and whatnot, from all various spaces. And I couldn't believe it. I couldn't believe it. I said, look at all these young people in here. They wasn't here when I was here the last time. I'm telling you, I said, they wasn't here when I was here the last time. The newsroom, they're full with young people. The production room, these particular persons, they're dealing with graphics. The quality, the product that's coming out is a quality product. This is a superb thing. Walked into ZNS, they're making modifications to the sales department. They're moving things, and I'm impressed. I am. I can't tell you all of this lays on the shoulder of the GM as an individual, but I can say to you that both he and um, Picewell in his particular position, Picewell Forbes, executive chair for BCB. Both he and Picewell, who are former employees of the Broadcasting Corporation of the Bahamas, have a very clear understanding of some of the roadblocks that existed in this space and the challenges that they've endured coming into this particular brand and the importance of being able to keep a traditional concept of what the brand means. But like I said, that kind of that waltz, that gentle waltz of being able to shift one thing. It's much like this. It's like a three-card Monty, right? They're changing some things up, and you don't even know where it is. By the time is you're done and looking at that, everything has been changed. So shouts out to Clint and his particular capacity. I'm going to see whether or not I can get him on for a very quick conversation and being able to talk about those particular things. Next week's going to be a full week, guys. Full week. And I'm not sure how I'm going to do this just yet. Not for the first few weeks. I'm thinking that I should just wait until I get my equipment and come back at you with the foundation of the week to week basis, but this is something that I love to do on a week to week basis, on a day to day basis. ZNS has afforded me an opportunity. This is a part of the negotiations that I would be able to do my thing. So I'm working in a capacity where I wouldn't be identified as an employee. I can't be an employee. I have things I got to do, right? And so we have constructed some things where I can be able to do what I must throughout the day on my station, on my show, and whatever I have to do with my newspaper. And then in the evenings, I'll dedicate that to the rundown and being able to ensure that we do those particular things. So I'm excited about that. Excited to jam in that area. And I hope that you guys are excited also, man. I think it's going to be wonderful. I know it's going to be wonderful. You can expect a lot of energy from me. You could expect some jokes. You could expect some very serious conversations. It's entertainment, it's education, it is nostalgic, it is authentically Bahamian. It is designed to be able to remind, designed anything that I do, from a public perspective and a media perspective, designed to remind, designed to realign. That's all this is. You may cuss me out. I know a lot of persons have. How would you just talk a lot of your business? Jesus, how would I know your wife is beat? One cuss you. You just talk a lot of your business. Oh God. If I was your wife, I know. I know that people have these kind of these thoughts and stuff like that. I know I'm not gonna fight you. I know. I understand. Right? But it is with a heart of sincerity, a genuine approach that I tell you these stories, that you could recognize that there's no difference between these people in front of the camera and behind the camera. And there is a desire to see all of us get to a particular position. And I even can tell you through tales of trials and tribulations that I would have gone through and spaces where I would have identified triumph. So you can hear my trials, you can hear my tribulations, and you will hear the stories of my triumph. And I'm really hoping that you would see triumph as I continue to be able to move in these areas, right? But this ain't for me, and this ain't about me. This is for us. And I may be one that could take the bumps and bruises as we get into these particular areas, but I guarantee you, I can give you the game of how we've been able to do this. I can give you the play by play of how we've been able to do this and how you can do this also. And I will stand as a testament and I will stand as a reminder of the fact that there is purpose, as a reminder of the fact that if there is a dream that exists in you, go after it. That's it. That's it. It cannot be a dream deferred. Go after it. You know, there's a few times that I put my dreams down. I'm going to tell you some stories. Today, we're going to talk about some stuff, the corruption claim, which is offensive to nose. We're going to talk about Raming confirms Grand Bahama Power is acquisition. Raming confirms Grand Bahama Power Company is acquisition. Is that correct? Anyway, I think it's supposed to be companies, apostrophe S, acquisition. Hmm? Hmm? Davis, progress is not always ribbon cutting. I like that kind of a zinger. I like that. All right, Kalani Brand's eyes, Robin Lines. Great conversation to be able to have today, to be able to identify those things. Proud mom as Edgecombe marks NBA All Star Rising Star selection. This is VJ's mother. VJ's mother looked like a biddy, not in a bad way. She looked young. Noel says crime has considerably decreased for the year 2025. Only 4 police convictions despite 169 civilian complaints. It says that Knowles hits back on U.S. lawyers' offensive corruption claims. And then they get some rape statistics in here, which is 0 to 17, 8 persons, 18 to 25, 15 persons, or 15 count rather. 26 to 35, 16 count. 36 to 45, 6 count, 46 to 55, 2 count, and the overall over 55 is 3 count, right? So we can be able to identify that 96 of those persons were females, 4% of those, 96% of those persons were females, 4% of those persons were males, 75% unknown assailants. Wow, 75%, known assailants, 75% known assailants, 13 or 26% tourist. Oh, and 78% under 36. I suppose that these were the assailants. And this is crazy. Wow. Well, the information's in there. I like the fact that they had, and this is cool, guys. I like your bar graphs in the papers to be able to identify and contrast those particular numbers and how things are done. A Bentley, my God, for sale in the papers. You know, why don't you let me drive it around for you and then see if we can get us. But let's talk about that, man. Let's talk about this here. I will just touch base with you and let you know that there has been some trials and tribulations, and we had to get over that. Yeah, it has not been easy. This journey, this path, this particular approach, it has not been easy. Not for me. And I gave up a couple times. I gave up. I gave up. I promise you I gave up. I'm tired, man. I was tired. Every day you get up with a focus on pursuing a particular dream, and you have to make modifications to accommodate your living situation. Right? So you can't give all. You got children, right? You got children. And I did so much with little to no help. I just gotta say that. You know, a lot of people don't want to say, well, I helped you. Yeah, thanks, man. I really appreciate the $25 that you lent me. And you look for that every day since. You understand? For 25 days, you hounded me for $25. Yeah, I'm just saying. These are the type of people who want you to be able to call them out when you are, achieving this award. When you've finally been able to acclaim something, they don't want you to forget their names. But they don't understand the contribution to a dream because it's not their dream. They're not your Aaron. They're not your participant. They're not your helpmate. They're not your soulmate. They're not tied to you. And so they're casual at best with being able to do these things. And you have a burning desire to get to an objective. I gotta be able to thank my business partner, man. I gotta be able to because I got wary in this space too. Can I say that? Is it okay for you to understand that? 2017, I met my business partner, getting conch salad for my wife down by Tyrone. And so we sitting right there. I mean, so I loud and not intentionally loud. I'm not looking for. I really don't look for attention. I'm not looking to. Hey, like I don't do that. I just loud. I just loud. Whether I laughing, whether I just loud. And I guess this is it's an acquired taste. It's an acquired taste. And with this sort of an acquired taste, I have sitting down there having conch salad, and I really am an engaging fella. I don't care who you are. I I go out looking for adventures every day. Every day. Every day I hit the road is an adventure. In fact, I just drive through the ghetto for adventures. I like it. I like it. You ask me, you know where boom boom boom. I don't know, but I guarantee you, I didn't know before I come to Nassau, but I come in the city and I map this place. I love an adventure. I love an adventure. I love it. I enjoy it. From I was a child, I love adventures. I would take my kids on a bus when they were young, right? Maybe they 2 years apart, so maybe 5 and 3, or let's call it 7 and 5, right? I take them on the bus with me in Grand Bahama, the little small bus, and I let them sit down there and I let them meet the people and let them talk and so forth and so on. And then we go to the bus stop in Grand Bahama, and then, right? The next day, my daughter says to me, Daddy, are we going on another adventure today? Oh man, Daddy, we always go on adventures with you. I love it, right? So they my children know that I love an adventure. I love an adventure, right? And so that's not always pursuing a different space. That's really being able to learn a different face. That's just what it is. Man, woman, whatever, boy, girl, whatever the case may be, I am going to engage you authentically. I ain't doing this for kicks and giggles. I asking you serious questions. I've come to realize, and then I had to shut some people down or really fix my approach. How I do this in Nassau, right? I naturally have these kind of a bedroom eyes, like these kind of like this smoldering eyes. If you look into it, you think, oh my God. Yeah, you need to calm down. Just how my eyes set. You understand? So when I first come to Nassau and I used to ask women, I say, hi, how you doing? What's your name? Right? Right? This young girl, I said, what's your name? Oh, no, I say something. What your name is? Something like that, right? I can't say. I can't remember exactly. Whatever the rhythm was in the cadence, she thought I was asking her how old she was. So she said 16. I said, your name is 16. Oh no, oh, I only need 16. I said, nobody trying to cut up with you, baby. You need to calm down. And I think that also this kind of a colloquialism of being able to have this kind of a conversation about um It's colloquialism of being able to have this conversation about how you approach it. And you say things like, "Hey, sweetheart. Hey, baby. Hey, pretty girl," or whatever. How we ever do this? This kind of a thing. This is faux pas. This is not necessarily something that is being said elsewhere. In fact, when I lived in Colorado, it was a difficult thing to be able to say. When I lived in Colorado, it was a difficult thing, right? Sorry, guys. Let me just tell this person I'm on here. So, uh, I go out, I look for all these things and identifying all these stuff and talking to people and love to fish fry. I love fish fry because it reminds me of 8 Mile Rock. Because, it's a different scent. But, I love out here, much more Joneses, and no one's dancing. Why aren't you Joneses dancing? Maybe they're not Joneses. Maybe they just drunkards. I don't know. So we out here in fish fry. I'm meeting everyone. I met some family and some friends who I know from different islands and some people who I would have gone off to school with in Cuba, and I met them. And I love an adventure. Met this guy down there by Tyrone having some because I used to go to Just Grill also, and them other two spaces on the side of where Just Grill was. I used to kind of hang out there. This was before my family moved here. I would just be sitting my fish fry, just doing my thing. Anyway, so we get in 2017. I carry my wife for some Kong salad. We're down there, and I met this guy, and I just started asking him, "What's his last name?" I said, "Oh, you family? Oh, you're from this and that. Oh, yeah, you might this and that. Oh, man." We started talking business. We started talking about his company and this and that. And next thing, right? Guy, fit guy, right? Fit, wearing this kind of a dry fit shirt, you know, a size too small. You got to be able to see his physique. Nah, he's fit. And so he's out there and he's being able to do his thing, picking up a Kong salad also. And we just started talking and he gives me his card. He said, "Let's connect." Now, I've always had a dream for this kind of a business. And I'm always good with business. I really am. I got great ideas as it relates to business. And we got to be able to get some things done. And so I, just sitting with him, just having a conversation, we started to talk. And he says to me, "Howard, you know, I called him, a few times and talked to him about some business prospects. He says, "Howard, whatever you're doing, I'd like to do it with you." That's what he said to me. He said, "Howard, whatever you're doing, I'd like to do it with you." This is my business partner said to me. And then I said, "Okay, you know, you don't really hear that. You don't see that. And you always try to figure out what these people angle is. What's your angle, man? What you want? What do you, what is the objective? What's your goal? What's the focus?" Long story short, we started to be able to get into some business. We developed a company, and being able to do that, the company was just on the cusp, on the edge, teetering on the edge before we be able to step over that threshold into an amazing opportunity. But it was hedged on somebody else's making a decision for you. It was hedged upon whether or not things were done properly from a governmental standpoint, and if the government would give you this, and it was a difficult thing. It was a difficult thing during a time when there were novices in strategic positions throughout the country, and the subtle mindset that existed that says, I gonna have to be a 10% man also. I gonna need 10%. But, 10% is nothing. We can pay our tithes if this is required, but we need to be able to get this particular thing done because it's life changing for all of us. And so we kept pushing, and they wanted the 90%, and they wanted to give us not even recognition. And it was a difficult thing for me to be because I set up the whole deal. I set up the people, I set up it was a difficult thing for me to fathom. And you don't know why I don't bother with some people because they hogs. They swines. They swines. They hogs. I care not to say who these people are, but you know them very well. And they know that I know that they're hogs. And I may be the fat one. I just to be clear with you. But my God, these people, from a spiritual standpoint, they are disgusting. Let's just be decent. As we talk about these particular things, and we identified it. And so the deal didn't necessarily go through, but he stayed with me. And I was able to pull some groupings and some people together from various groupings to do some stuff and get qualified persons who do tech and graphics and this and that and all these things. So I put a small contingent of people together, and we would do like a think tank and talk about prospects and ideas and whatnot. And so with that, things just kept evolving, and he stayed with me through the course of everything that I've done. And so I got into this, but I didn't know whether or not he would want to be a part of. We took some time off from each other. Can I say this? We took some time off. It was sort of a organic thing that happened. I became reclusive because I kept giving to concepts and ideas, and I never got the reciprocity of being able to receive. I was diligent in the development of these concepts and the pursuit of these concepts. I thought it was ironclad, and being able to deliver these particular things and hoping that something would come back, and it never did. It never did. It never did. And it was so exhausting that I kept giving the little resources that I had because, as a young entrepreneur, as a young businessman, as a young dreamer, you find yourself in this position, especially with the fact that you want a family. And so you're developing your family and then trying to be able to keep your family together, and you want to pour into your family, but you want to pour into your dream. And so now you're torn between your family and your dream. And so your resources are, you put it over to your family sometimes, you put it over your dream, you put it over to your family, put it over your dream. And my wife is very patient with me because she's seen me hit the jackpot in some dreams. A lot of the dreams that I've had hit the jackpot. And it's baffling that, oh, mother's sake, I can't believe he did this. How the hell did you do this? I just believe. And it's been difficult, and she's been patient with me, but it's wearing on me as a man because I need to do some stuff. Yeah, I got to take care of my kids. I got to be able to build this house. I got to build some houses for my sons and my daughters. I got to do some stuff. I got to develop the business. I got to do this, and with all of these dreams, you have more dreams than money. You have more dreams than capital that you can be able to pour into. And it placed me in this position where it was sort of a difficult thing. It was a difficult thing, man. It was difficult. And I had a personal issue in my life during the time right after the hurricane, or right during that particular time. And it really caused me to be able to become somewhat of an introvert. You would have seen me, you would have heard me, and I was dealing with some heavy stuff in my spirit. I really was. I really was. I really was. This isn't this kind of a contemplate suicide type thing. I don't do that, right? But you contemplate your path. Am I in the right path? Is God with me? Have I sinned against him? Have I done this? Am I making the proper sacrifices? Am I taking those steps? Do I just give up? Would he find me? I've been on this path so much times. I've been on this path. I gave up on a greater dream to cut grass. I was content with that. I was cutting grass at one point when I lost my job from the hotel. And I started my own company called Homeland Maintenance and Landscaping. And I say, okay, God, this what you want? I thought this was just like a temporary thing, Father. If this is what you want me to do, I'll do it. If this is what you want me to do, I'll do it. And I said to him, whilst I was driving the truck, my father-in-law lent me a truck, and I'm driving this truck, and boom, the piston burst out the engine block after I just put $1,000 in this truck. The piston burst out the engine block after I just put $1,000 in this truck. I said, Mother sick. Jesus ain't want me to be great today. Bam! Breakdown. And that was truly in preparation for me to be able to move towards running. That's what happened. Transition into the DNA. Right after these people say, I can't believe Howard getting that kind of money. The government of the Bahamas was paying us handsomely. I can't even begin to amen. Jesus. Hey! Glory to God. The government of the Bahamas was paying us handsomely. For those persons who were the moderators, those persons who were responsible for training, those persons who did that. And listen, I tell you, I do what I do and I just do it the best. I don't care how nobody else feel. We could row about it and fight about it later. I just do this the best. They had a party for me every single time. They buy me a beautiful gift. Everybody signed the thing. I mean, listen, man, listen. This was such a beautiful time. I was overwhelmed. When I was the trainer and the sort of the moderator and whatnot, I got this job with the Free National Movement under the Free National Movement, right? And I get this job and I go in there and they call me and I pray. And when I get this job, I was fasting and praying. I was in prayer. I was on a 3-day fast. Do I tell you this part, what happened when I had a dream? I wasn't dreaming. I wasn't dreaming. I was laying down in prayer and Beyonce came to me. Oh Lord. I just feel so weird telling you all these things because y'all ain't believe me. You think I'm delusional. I gotta be out of my mind. Is that crack, Howard? Is that cocaine, Howard? Is that what you're on? I'm telling you the truth. I was laying down and fasting and I was in prayer. And I had enough money on my phone. I didn't even use the phone. Um, just to be able to get a telephone call. And I was hoping for this call and I was hoping for a job so I can take care of my family. That's it. And I was praying and I was broken. And Beyonce came to me and told me to do some sort of a ritual or something and I'll be a multi-millionaire. And I said, Miss, if you don't come from around me, right? She was on a black and white floor, right? And she was wearing like the same clothes that the Chiquita Banana wears, and she was dancing like the sombra or whatever this dance is, and she was just coming with this big dress and right, but it was a big dress, but yet she was seductive. Her legs was out and so forth and so on. I said, Miss, if you don't get from around me in Jesus Christ's name, I don't want nothing to do with you, nothing. If we can be broke, we can be broke. We can be all right. I don't need that money that bad. I promise you. And when I got out of that, my wife called me. So I don't even think I told my wife this. So I took a telephone call and then I saw that it had a voice note. And I said, what a voice note? Listen. Answer the voice note. When I listened to the voice note, this was one of the officers who I'd known from previous programs who worked in his accounting financial capacity for this particular program, for the government's program, right? He says, Mr. Grant, we got a job for you. We want you to be able to do it, right? So I say, okay. Now, this was the protocol. The protocol was you identify these particular persons and you used to let them come in. Now, I know that this is the protocol because I structured this protocol prior. I was a part of this protocol when I would work with the government 6-week program, right? So this was the 52-week program, and I wanted them to give me consideration or maybe to be a participant in some way or the other, right? There was my girl Valerie, praise God for her, right? She's my girl, right? Pinder, right? She reached out. Well, she didn't tell me this until after. So when I got the call from Mr. Anderson. Mr. Anderson says, Howard, I want you to be able to, I can't forget these people's name because this was at a broken time in my life and I didn't know what to do. I felt like giving up because I need to take care of my family. I ain't got no money, right? And I couldn't get no help, no help. My mother was a member of parliament. I didn't get no help. And I don't know whether or not had to do a lot with my kind of a pride. I never really lead on to how broken my situation. Some people is just I do so bad. Oh, like, you know, some people is just kind of do this thing, right? Oh God, but look at right here, but my leg just fall off. I try to keep it up. See the duct tape right now? It's too much, right? So I don't do that, right? I go through trials and tribulations. Hey, Howard, what's up, man? Right here, man. Everything good, man. All is well. All is well. All is well. And that's sort of an affirmation and a declaration, not only for you to hear, but also for me to hear, right? So, and this is how I live my life. So anyway, I listened to this voice note. The voice note says, Howard, we have a job for you. You got to be in Nassau tomorrow morning. Nassau tomorrow morning. Me and my wife had $0. Jesus, we had no money. And I couldn't borrow money from nobody. The only person I used to borrow money from is my grandmother. I'm telling you, it was a tumultuous time for me and my family. Me and my wife and my couple children. It was a difficult time for us. It was a hard time. And as a result of that, I called my wife. She said, I have $322. I get in Nassau. They had to pay me when I get in Nassau for the flight, right? So whatever I get, I could get back at the flight and so forth and so on. And long story short, I get in Nassau. I praying the whole time. I don't even know what's going on. I get a ride to where they tell me to be. We get in this meeting, 6 of us in this room, maybe 7 of us. 3 people I know, right? We were in this room, we represented the trainers for the module for the 52-week program. Now, the module was a soft skills module, was to be able to help people prepare. Remember when the IDB actually released the information, the IDB indicated that it's important that they have these particular soft skills also, not just being able to come into the workplace with knowledge of how to be able to execute a job, but the importance of understanding how to do what needs to be done in this space and how to act and how to react and so forth and so on. So essentially, my customer service training came in, and my training from that standpoint came in also. They called me. When they tell us how much we getting paid, everybody, oh God, you need to hear these stories sometime in your life to remind you it's going to be okay. It's going to be okay. You need to hear these stories. You need to remind your spirit that God is greater than your tribulation. We sat in this room, all of us looking at each other across from the table. And Miss Bastian, Deborah Bastian or Baisden, one or the other, right? Finance. She sat there and she said, everybody was trying to be decent and use decorum and not ask how much we getting paid. No one knew what they wanted from us because they hadn't told us. None of us applied for this. We were recommended for these particular things. None of us knew. None of us knew in this room. They had all of us in here. You would think this is the first 48, how they was questioning us and talking to us. We don't know what the hell is going on. When she tell the whole table how much y'all gonna be making an hour, we say, what? Yes, that seems about right, is an appropriate thing. Yeah. Miss Bastian or Baisden. I got to go back in my email and check it out, right? Miss Deborah, let's call her Miss Debbie. She said, excuse me, I got to leave the room. I'm coming right back, right? So it's only us in here. When she walked out and closed the door, all I hear is Simone say, Jesus Christ, oh God, right? So everybody say, Jesus! We in the room, having a praise break Everybody start to be able to testify. We need this money so bad. Oh God, we was broken. And it's amazing how God has put you in a space where people sharing these things. So when we break out in a praise, oh God, the heavens heard that. We were so happy, but we couldn't even let the people outside know that we too happy in here. We could not believe it. We could not believe it. We would have been happy getting what they give us an hour a day. I gone from a busted piston, he ain't got nothing, to making what I make, and I was able to buy my car in no time. I couldn't even tell my family how much money I was making. I told nobody how much money I was making. My wife knew. I told absolutely nobody. They ain't pay us, right? Let me just shoot straight with you. They ain't pay us for months, but 3 weeks. So our money accumulate. When they pay us, I talking about gonky, what, gonky like that, right? Big gonk, right? I had to go out from the bank, and I buy a car. I couldn't even tell my people this is my car because they don't how you could buy a car in only a week and a half, 2 weeks. How you could buy that? I said, boy, this ain't even my car. I borrowed this car from a good friend in Freeport, and we're just trying to make some things happen. This was my car. This was my car. But because I would have been through so much tribulation, I can't tell anybody what I gone through no more. I cannot open my mouth and make a declaration to the elements and say to them where I am, because I know tribulation will follow me and seek to be able to wrestle this thing from me. I wouldn't even say it out loud. I tell Mr. Anderson, I say to Mr. Anderson, do not let 8 Mile people see how much I get paid. I promise you from here to Jesus, I say that to him 17 times. He said, no, no, no. I said, Mr. Anderson, I come in your office and you got all these papers all over the table. Stop letting people see. I said, because if these people see how much they're getting paid, I can have a problem. Sure enough, the 8 Mile people see how much they're getting paid. They call Hubert Ingram right away. Call Hubert Ingram and ask him. They called Hubert Ingram right away. Oh, that grand boy making all that money, I could do what he just do. No, you can't. Shut up. You can't. You can't. But Hubert Ingram, I was gone. I was gone. And the entire program fell apart. I was gone. And then maybe 2 weeks later, the whole thing kind of, fizzled out, right? But just as that happened, Branville, McCartney, and Colin de Gregory came to me for this particular position for the DNA. And just after the DNA fall through, and that didn't happen, my cousin Maggie tell me come move to Nassau. And just as I get discouraged with that, God say, you get a manager's position. In fact, you had 3 positions you could choose from at the Sheridan. And just when that fell through, boom, I open up my business. And just as that didn't work out, boom, the radio thing. And just as that didn't work out, boom, another radio thing. So God has always been faithful. And it's important that you align yourself with him. I know sometimes we just go off on a conversation, on a tangent, and being able to talk about these things, but I like to tell you these stories because I'm a real Negro. I go through a lot. And I don't get no help from nobody. Nobody gives me no help. If it wasn't for my good business partner who has been able to come in, I mean, outside of my wife, that is almost a given. She contributes, and but I'm exhausted of being able to lean on the finances of the family and what I should have been able to do with that in pursuit of these dreams. And sometimes I sit down and I say, Lord, I really wish I wasn't a dreamer. I wish you wouldn't tell me these things. I wish you wouldn't say these things to me because you've given me all this stuff and I don't have no capital. You've given me all this idea. You've given me all this idea, all this stuff, and I don't have no capital, Jesus. I don't have any monies to be able to make this thing happen. Right? And every time something comes through. Guys, you got to keep holding on. I don't know. I feel like I'm getting preachy with you lately. I think that things are shifting in this life. It's shifting in the atmosphere, it's shifting in the world. And I think we need to be encouraged to make ourselves understand that no matter what political organization is in or out, that we have to be able to find our footing. Don't depend upon the FNM. Don't depend upon the PLP. You will be sorely disappointed because that's not our source. It's not our source. The PLP is not my source. The FNM is not my source. It's not our source. Now, if there's anything that we could offer temporarily in exchange for what we need in this particular moment, in our now, that's a different thing. But you can be able to, you know, uh, push all your baskets in the eggs of our expectation that the PLP, the FNM, the COI, the DNA, the CDR, whatever, wherever you are, you can have an expectation that they can take care of you forever. You can't. You got to be able to find something to be able to sit on your own bottom as a bucket. You got to sit on your own bottom and know that you're going to be okay. I got to encourage you. I got to encourage you. I don't know what your relationship is with God. I don't know the calling that God has on your life. I know if you're listening to me, that the approach that I take and the way that I share with you and the vulnerability that I offer you, you are not listening to me to hear my business. You're listening to me because there is a connection. And if there is a connection between you and I, however much people watch, I can't even see how much people are watching. I ain't got the thing up. However much people are watching me, or however much people will watch this, if you're watching this, there is a call on your life. There is a call on your life to transform this community, this country, wherever you are. You don't have to do so with anger. You don't have to do so with frustration. You don't have to do so with lambasting. You don't have to help Jesus Christ to help you to step into the purpose that God called you to. You don't have to play numbers to be able to build this kind of the dream that God has called you. You don't have to put your hand to obeah and witchcraft. You don't have to steal. You don't have to lie to be able to help with the purpose that God has called you to. You just have to continue to be able to polish, to work, right? You have faith. Faith without works is still dead. But if you have faith and you still doubt, it's not faith. It's contaminated. You have to have faith. You have to have faith. You have to have the type of faith that you could move a mountain or they could kill you, they could shoot you, and you know that you cannot die because you had not fulfilled the purpose that God has called you to. It doesn't matter. You don't, no, no, no. I cannot die. I've not finished what God has called me to. That's faith. That's faith and an acknowledgement that there is something as you have to align yourself greatly. And you can't look around you, man. Being consumed and concerned about who is around you, that's a wild thing. That's a wild thing. Yeah, but he doing, or why is she doing this, and stop liking man. Stop looking at these people. Get on your mission. Focus and commit yourself to this dream, this hope, this aspiration, this idea. Acquire that, attain that, touch it, bring it out of the clouds into reality. The community needs it, the country needs it, tomorrow requires it. Do it now. Stop being soft. Get it done. Get it done. It's time to get it done. I don't know what your dream is. I don't know what it is. I don't know what it is. Chad, what's his name? Oh Lord, let me look in the sports section, see if he in there. Our guy, the baseball player from He's in the States with us, right? I think he's in New York now. You could tell I don't really watch sports too heavy. But he's just put $12 million, his entire savings, or his entire pay for, I think, a campaign that he would have done, 12 point something $1 million. He put it up for homeless people in New York City. In New York City. He put it up for homeless people in New York City. Whatever this dream, hope, aspiration, idea, burning desire, necessity, this thing that keeps you up at night that you don't understand. You're around here chewing cloves and taking magnesium glycinate, trying to be able to figure out why I can't sleep. Dreams falling on you all day. You don't know how to write it down. You don't know how to write it down. You don't know how to get yourself prepared. You don't know how to do what God called you to do. Huh? You're so wrapped up in keeping yourself in a drunken stupor state that you don't even know what to do. I tell you, got to be sober. Sober in your mind and your thinking, or else you can't align with the thing. Look here, you was born for something. It's only 400,000 of us. All us can't be lazy. All us can't be stupid, and all us can't be dumb. All us can. It's only 400,000 of us. That's all it is. That's all this is. That's all we are. Only a small handful of people. All of us cannot be lackadaisical, lazy, alcoholic, sweethearting, homosexual, lesbians. All of us can't be in the same category. Somebody got to be a dreamer. Somebody got to be a fighter. Somebody got to be a believer. Somebody got to do it. Why are you waiting for somebody else to do it? Do it! Let's get it done. Because I can't do this myself. And I'm not naive to believe that God doesn't have a remnant, but it's time to activate. It's time to activate. Now, God knows how to be able to deal with the remnant, but it's time for you to activate. It's time for you to activate the dream, the hope, the desire. Stop talking. Shut up. I'm sick and tired of it. Stop talking. Stop it. Stop talking. Stop it. Let's make it happen. I come here, I yuck the damn roof off this place. I was dealing with patio politics. And I walk here and I declare, I say, this can be mine, but it's nice. Hey, I like this. It's nice, but I like this. This can be mine. They bring me in here, mold, mildew, water. I could see straight through the roof and this and that. I ain't seen none of that. I saw a completed product. Nobody saw what I saw. I come in here, I pay for the fella to yuck down the whole roof. Boom. Yuck down all the windows. Yuck this down. Take everything out. I demolished this place. First fella I had, he was affordable. I could afford him. I was paying him $200 a day. I could afford that. He give me, you would think, you might as well tell me I paying him $200 a month. The type of work that he gave me, not in a bad way. Not in a bad way. I work around it, do whatever I could do, and God strategically, specifically, with endurance, with commitment, because I've already put my hands to it, because I've moved these particular, I couldn't slacken the ride, and God made sure I was financially fueled to get this done. And that don't always mean somebody can come put money in your hand, because I promise you that didn't happen like this. I got a couple dollars in my hand, and time as I touched my hand, all it did was this. All it did was a transfer. I got a couple dollars, and I couldn't even I still waiting on something. I can't listen. There's something I waiting on, then spend. Get up, get up. You'll have a much better rest when you're dead if you do the things that God called you to do. Get up, get up, get up, get up in Jesus Christ's name. Get up. It's time to take this country back. It's time to stop to being lackadaisical and casual and standoffish with your country. It's time to say, stop that stupid saying, it is what it is. It's time to stop throwing your hands up in the air. It's time to say that's your country, right? It's time to stop saying that. It's time to stop being able to deflect. It's time to stop being able to shun your responsibility, your position. It's time. It's time. It's time to stop letting these casual pseudo intellects being able to take on these particular positions in your country. These people are taking on significant positions in your country, and you watching them. You having casual conversations about how come this particular space is so full with homosexuals? How come this space is so full with these kind of a weirdos? These nobody in here believe in Jesus Christ. How come they having this kind of a conversation about how we could be able to pull in lesbianism and this kind of sort of an idea of they want to call same-sex marriage a civil union associated with that. They want to introduce that. How come these things are happening? How come? And you sitting there and you saying how come, but you ain't participating. You would rather perpetuate a conversation about being able to send your child to the United States of America where there's greater opportunities. But I guess you would tell you what, Trump don't want your children. They don't want your damn children. He don't want your children. Keep your Negro children and your S-hole country out of America. Now what? Now what the hell you gonna do? What you gonna do now? What you gonna do? What you can do now? Progressively, perpetually, we are seeing on a day-to-day basis modifications of what's happening on the United States of America to create an environment to say, we don't want you. You could come visit, but we don't really want you. Don't even try to marry an American. We don't want you. And if we find out that you try to marry an American for the purposes of these things and acquiring what America has built for its citizens, we're getting rid of you. We're getting rid of you. And if we find out that your wife was on food stamps and other forms of affordable housing and other forms of assistance from the government, then we're getting rid of you again. Oh, Jesus. You all better stop playing. And you're sitting down here and having a casual conversation about what Haitians doing, what Haitians ain't doing, why this ain't done. You all stop it. Stop it. Stop it. Stop it. We can get into a deep conversation, you know. We can get into a deep conversation. Because there's one particular organization who commits itself to the concepts and the functions of the United States of America whilst all this is happening. What the hell they can do? What they can do? When your ally has already said to our country, our nation, we don't want you. They got us on list after list. The country is changing. The world is changing. But you would rather talk about how the world changing around you rather than participate with being able to keep it by being able to keep it righteous. This is my coconut water. Don't fight me. You would rather participate in a casual conversation about how much sissy working at Ministry of Foreign Affairs. Why did it look like so much sissy here? Why there's so much sissy in this particular department? It looked like they only hire thugs in this department. Why do they only use all these things like this? This is what you say. This is what you all say. This ain't what I say. This is what you all say. You would rather participate in a conversation to talk about those things. You would rather sit down whilst people who have been working 20, 30, 40 years in customs and contributing to the growth and development and the acquisition and the revenue collection in this country and being able to bring in hundreds of millions and over those years, billions of dollars of revenue for our country. But you would rather say now, after these people have not been recognized, not been identified, you would rather say this is a political ploy. Are you stupid? Are you stupid? These people don't deserve this? They don't deserve this? They don't deserve a recognition by their governments? They don't deserve the righteous, upstanding people who've been committed to being able to do work above board and being transparent. Are you out of your mind? You think that the PLP could do this? When there were men and women who was asking God for an opportunity to be able to get a release, to get a promotion and get their monies, and the PLP releases that, you believe that we now could give this the accolades wholeheartedly rested on the shoulders of the PLP? We could say that the PLP is smart enough to be able to intervene, and intercede in God's prayer and answer prayers for that we pray into Jesus Christ. The PLP could answer it. Are you stupid? Are you out of your mind? You give no thought and idea that the steps of a good man are stood ordered by God? You give no thought and idea and space to say that this is still a divine thing that's happening for these people who've committed themselves to righteousness in our society? Are you out of your mind? God is a good God. He's always been good to us. We've gone through trial and tribulation and we've become stronger every time. We've gone through hurricane after hurricane and we've become stronger. Our resilience has nothing to do with our mere survival. We have become stronger as a people. But there's no evidence to say that. There's no evidence to say that. We fortified our prayer life. We brought our families together. We reconnected with God. We did what we had to do because we survived. Abaco people survived. Many of them died. East Grand Bahama people survived. Many of them died. After Francis and Jean, after Joaquin, Melissa, Dorian, we survived. To be casual, lackadaisical, lazy, and just being able to allow anything to take over our country, you got to be stupid. You got to be stupid. These people setting up business around us. They trying to take all your land from you. They want to do every Jesus thing and give you crumbs. The only thing the governments of the Bahamas try to be able to find out is how much jobs you bring in. I don't want no damn job. I don't want no job. I want 5% of the company. Howard, this a $3 billion company? Oh, Jesus, I ain't good for the money, eh? I ain't good for it. You can't tell me I ain't good for it. You could say, well, Howard, can we look at another thing? Howard, we can't give you 5% of the company. Maybe we could start you off with 0.9% of the company. No, man. Let me start to negotiate. This is what we need to do. I do not want a job from these people. Somebody could get that. I want a stake in the company. I want a stake in the company. And make sure it's a zebra steak. Jesus, I want a good piece. Don't worry how tough it is. It can be tendonism in a minute, baby. We can deal with that. We got to do better than this. And stop being casual. We're allowing people to take over our country. These people that are coming to the forefront have developed themselves, have nurtured themselves, have designed themselves, have yielded themselves to the concepts and ideas, to the traditions and the systems that exist. They have folded and fallen into the systems that exist. And as a result of those systems, political organizations and leadership in those organizations recognize their assimilation to the systems. And because they understand that they are already affiliated and assimilated in the system, it's only a natural fit to put you at the forefront. But for many of us who have no affiliation, no assimilation, no acquaintance with the system, let me know what the systems are. We know the fraternity system. We know the organizational system. We know the corporate system. We know the relational system. We know these systems. We know the political systems in our country. Strategically, you're being identified under the auspices of these particular systems, and then you're aligned accordingly at the forefront for people to vote for you. You have no passion for the community. You can't articulate what needs to be done. You give me a generic 5-point plan kind of garbage thing. You hit me with bullet points that we could be able to kind of regurgitated, dust off bullet points that you could be able to pull up from 1982. and you keep kind of reusing them and reshuffling the words, repurposing those words, and using the exact same thing, we could see this through you, man. We could see through your garbage. We could see through your darkness. It's time for you to get up, man. It's time for you to get up. I had more people call me and congratulate me on working to ZNS than who called me and congratulated me on the launching of my own radio station and newspaper. Because I don't know how people thinking is, right? And maybe because you don't hear me on air just yet, that it doesn't seem real. But it's definitely real. It's definitely a real thing. It's definitely a real thing. I look at this and I realize that this may just be a social conditioning, or maybe people only gravitate to what they see. So you saw the commercial, you saw these particular things, and all of a sudden it's real. Okay, I accept it. I'm not going to fight you. I accept it. I accept it. I accept it. But God is a good God. And He's kept me. And He's kept you. And I don't know where you are. And I know that there was a dark time in my life because of anger that I didn't even pray. I wasn't angry with God, but I didn't feel worthy enough to be able to do that. But He's never left me. And even that was a design thing. I have so much appreciation for what He's done for me. I do. I am so grateful for what He's done for me. I need you to step out of your depression. I need you to step out of your trial and tribulation. I need you to step out of your own thoughts, your carnal thoughts. And I need you to yield yourself and give God a try. Give our Father a try. Let's change this country. Let's get back to where He called us to be, and let's move forward. That's a lot I say today. Jeez Louise. That's a lot that I said today. We are going to be done with this. We're going to be done with this life. I don't care how rich you are, how poor you are, how black you are, how white you are, how fat you are, how slim you are, how great your teeth glisten as you smile. I don't care if everything shows up in slow motion as you continue to be able to brush your hair aside when you're walking and everyone sees you in slow motion like, oh my God, gawking after you. It doesn't matter. You will die. The inevitability of death should be able to give you the urgency to pursue the purpose that God has called you to. We ain't got much time, baby. We only have now. That's it. We only have now. We don't even have today. We only have now. Let's take a break, guys. When we get back, we can talk a little bit more about what's happening around the country right after this.
Taking Bahamian music to the world.
This DJ
Sampler. Hit that subscribe button like a goatskin drum.
Hello, Ricky. It's Johnny Gate. Man. Listen, don't be there trying to keep us locked down. They want us go inside the kill man. They're good reggae straight man. That's sweet music. You know why they go there. You know when they go there, it's kill man. Watch this. When the music plays, I'm the first one to dance. Sexy gal gon' whine on me while my rum in my hand. Reggae spirit so sweet, don't think you understand. I go in to mash up the place every time I go by the farm. I always get catch, drinking till I lose and I wet. Nobody gon' watch me if I kill bad and I sweat. with some blue man into my hands. Reggae stay so sweet, don't think you understand. Man wanging on woman, woman wanging back on a man. I always get drinking till I lose and I wet. Nobody gon' watch me if I get over and I sweat. On your market set, drunk but I ain't missing a step. Mind if you ain't feel no why, then stay over there by yourself. When Reagan's great return, I can dance, I can sing, I can wave my flag. When Reagan's great return, I can drink all the rum, I can get all mine. When Reagan's great return, I can dance, I can sing, I can wave my flag. When Reagan's great return, I can drink all the rum, I can get all mine. Get him, Ricky! Just give me the Reagan's great.
Bass sampler, bust it, mothers.
His name was Arthur, he was my papa. He loved to whistle, boy he was good. Plowing the field or catching fish.